Yo, call me Genie of the Lamp the way I got a cramp. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Skits. Today, and only today, we are here with Sonic and the Secret Rings Revisited. Thank you to everybody who's been joining me so far in the journey. We're like 5-6 games deep into the Revisit series. And now, it is time to talk about the game that I think, genuinely, is probably objectively the worst one I've experienced so far. And I think, no joke, probably the worst 3D Sonic game. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it more and looking back at the ones we've played versus the ones I know are coming, I think I could probably definitively say that Sonic and the Secret Rings is probably the worst game in the series. Now you're probably wondering, Fidel, you sound kind of cheery. I think that's just my natural state. I think, look, for me, I love the series so much that even in the worst Sonic 3D game, I could probably find some good. So let's just get right into it. So Sonic and the Secret Rings is one out of two storybook Sonic games. Originally, this game was supposed to be a port of Sonic 06 at the time, but Sega, decided not to opt with that and just make two separate games at the time, Sonic 06 and Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii. Banking on the Wii's success and needing a big game there, they went ahead and went with Secret Rings, which went full-on Wii controller. Like, this game has no controller support. This game is full-on Wii controller, so you gotta hold this controller sideways and you gotta tilt forward to move Sonic forward, tilt him back, and there's some button prompts, but it is purely Wii remote driven, which I don't know why they did this. I mean, I know why they did it. Obviously, the Wii was massive. They want capitalize, but I don't know why this game could not have had some kind of controller support, because God, dude, this game, I feel like this game, no joke, was hurting me physically. This is the one Sonic game I can tell you was physically hurting me to play. I was getting cramps, constantly shaking the Wii remote, constantly shaking it up and down to go through a barrel, constantly homing, attacking, constantly tilting the Wii remote back, tilting the Wii remote forward, sideways, up and down. Like, this game literally, like, physically fucking hurt me to play, which I cannot say that for any other Sonic game in this series. And honestly, let's say we take that factor aside. Let's say, I played the game with a controller, which I've tried it with a controller on an emulator. It's still just kind of ass. Now let me explain how the structure works for this game. So first of all, I gotta say, story-wise, I love the style. I love the storybook style. I love how Sonic in the story, immaculate. I feel like we are at this point with Sonic, this is when he goes full shonen for the first time. Because the game before that, we're playing 06, we're like, okay, the game itself is kind of ass. Sonic doesn't really feel like himself too much in there. But I feel like this game is when Sonic feels shonen. In the dialogue he has, how confident he feels the entire time, how cocky he is. Like, I just feel like this is my Sonic, that starts to really feel like he is him, where he's just like caring, he's confident, he's cool. It reminded me of Sonic X Sonic at the time, which obviously it was that cast. So I just felt really happy with the story. You got some cool characters in there. I love Eraser Jin as a villain. Is very menacing. Char is pretty cool as a character, but again, for the most part, you get them in these story stills that are very cool. You all know the iconic cutscene at the end where he tells them his Jordans are completely fake, which is cool. But yeah, story wise, very happy. Now, gameplay, like I said, awful. So the idea here is that you level up with Sonic. So you go through these levels. The first level you do in a world is gonna be, just get to the end, and then the next ones are gonna be like, you have to do a bunch of challenge levels to move on. So you gotta, do a level where you gotta get 100 rings, do a level where you gotta kill 10 enemies, do a level where you don't kill any enemies, do a level where you don't get a ring. And like I said, because the controls of this game fight you, I feel like this game is about what, 5-6 hours long. I feel like this game would be 2 hours if you could control it normally, because really half the time you spend with this game, I feel like, is fighting against the controls. Like, trying to go backwards when you went forward too much is a nightmare. Trying to, get your homing attacks, but sometimes missing is awful. Some of the platforming is like awful, specifically in Pirate Storm. I think that world is genuinely bad. Some of the missions that are required are awful. Like, there's somewhere you have to chase this little ball in the sky, and it's really bad. It's just, the level structure is just so bad, and it's aggravating. And again, it bothers me because the aesthetic of this game I find is really cool. Obviously, as an Arab, right, going to a world of Arabian Nights in these places is a really cool idea, right? But then it's just the levels are so infuriating and unenjoyable that you're just like, well, fuck, man, I can't enjoy this as much, and a big thing about this game, right, is this game has a level up system, right? Every time you do missions, you level up Sonic, and the more you level up, the more you get meter meter, and with that meter, you're able to equip upgrades onto Sonic. So the game starts pretty slow, and then by the end of it, when you're leveling up, you suddenly have, faster speed, you have a better turbo, you have a better homing attack, a faster attack. So the idea here is for you to level up Sonic, customize Sonic, and upgrade him, and you even have 4 different sets of rings, so you can have different builds for him. Now, the problem, like I said, if the game was fun to control and play, I'd be all for these upgrades. I like the idea of upgrading Sonic, and upgrades return in Sonic Frontiers, and I love it so much, right? And so I like the idea of customizing and upgrading Sonic. But when the core gameplay is bad, and it feels like these customizations are what makes Sonic bearable to play, I feel like that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like half of these things that are upgrades should have just been how the game felt to play, because it was infuriating to play. You know, and I feel like the upgrades are like, how do we make this less shitty, essentially? You know what I mean? Like, it almost doesn't even feel like an upgrade. It makes it feel like here's like a difficulty slider almost, and a bearable slider. It's so bad, you know what I mean? And this game has good music. I know a lot of people are kind of mixed on it. I'm kind of mixed on it too. Like, there's some tracks that are pretty good, but for the most part, I'm not a fan of the very repetitive style of the songs, right? But some of them are bangers, but just overall, man, I don't even think this review is going to be too long, because I just think world-wise, right, it's just not, oh god, man, like, it's just, the gameplay it drove me fucking crazy, man. Like, and the boss fights are infuriating. Now, you do have these special moves that you unlock, like you have time break and you have speed break, and both of these specials you unlock are also ass, because with speed break, right, it's, it makes you go ultra fast, but it's not like you're impervious to any enemies or projectiles or anything. Like, you can just get bumped into something and it'll break you out of it. In slow-mo time, I don't know who thought this was okay. Typically in games, when you get a slow-mo time thing, everything around you slows down and you're moving at a normal pace, that way, that's the fun of it. But in this game, you slow down with the game too. And so it's just like an unbearable ability, and it's just like not fun at all. Like, and I think that's my biggest problem with the game, is like the game just doesn't want you to have fun. And because like there's moments where I'm playing missions, I'm like, okay, like this one wasn't bad. Like this one was, I played through the level. I like the set pieces. I give this game props because it has like really cool set pieces. Like there's sometimes where you're like traveling on a log. There's sometimes you're running away from dinosaurs. There's sometimes you're running out of a level on a timer. You got to escape an area. There's like really cool set pieces in areas. There's like one area that reminds me of Frontiers, where like you're flying on a floating, area in the sky. There's a part at the end where you're on a magic carpet. Like, there's cool cinematics in this game, right? But again, half of them are fighting you because of controls. You know what I mean? Like tilting the Wii remote, like this, that. I really feel like this game's biggest problem was committing to the Wii, because I love Sonic's character model here. I love the story and everything. And also, this game, weirdly enough, feels like an auto runner. Like, Sonic just kind of runs forward in the game, and like you have to turn back to sort of slow him down. You can stomp to slow Sonic down, but like, it's just, oh my god, I cannot believe how they got away with this game. What I will say though, Dark Spine Sonic as a transformation is kind of fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, having this crazy form that's because of Sonic using the power of the rings, and not when I'm dying and shaking the remote like crazy to hit a razor Jin, but even just dodging the moves, the music, how creepy the atmosphere is, just the form itself, fire. I will give the game that. This game for me is just, it's bad. Like, it's just a straight up bad game, and it's crazy because every other Sonic game, even 06 that I know everybody objectively has a problem with, I enjoyed that more, because at least there I had control of my character, right? Like, the flaws with that game are the fact that it is incomplete, right? And that things should have been improved, but like I could still play the game from start to finish, whereas like I genuinely felt like Secret Rings was trying to kill me, and the only saving grace it really has is the fact that it's not that long, and so that the levels are short, and some challenges are easier than others, and if you upgrade Sonic, things do get a little easier, a little more bearable, right? And I have played the party mode in this game. This game has a cool party mode. I actually played that on Side Quest, which is Shocktopus's channel, and I had a good time with it. Like, that minigame mode is actually genuinely fun, so go ahead and check that out if you want to see me play that. But yeah, no, I I'm not a fan of Secret Rings, man. Like, it's one of those games that, honestly, I would love if it got a remake. I feel like this is one of those games where I think this, of all Sonic games, would benefit so much from a remake, because I feel like if you fixed up the visuals, you know, you opened up the levels a bit more, you gave Sonic full control, I feel like getting upgrades and playing through the levels like with full agency would be fucking awesome. And I would love actually to experience the game like that, because it has cool ideas, aesthetics are dope, gameplay ideas are cool, but just overall, like I said, the controls are half the problem with this game. It's trying to fight you. It doesn't want you to have a good time. And I don't know if that's, you blame the Wii on that, you blame Sonic Team. I think you blame Sonic Team on that one for dedicating that hard to the Wii. But that's really all I got to say about Sonic and the Secret Rings. One of the few 3DSi games here I'm just like, nope, this was just straight up bad, and I was upset. And the only thing that saved me from being, you know, crazy angry about it is like nothing took forever. Things just, you know, hurt me. You know, the game just hurt to play. But that's really it. So guys, thank y'all for watching. Let me know what you all think of Sonic and the Secret Rings. And of course, I'll see you all next time. And the next big one is going to be Sonic Unleashed Revisit. I'm very excited for that one. And of course, I love you. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.